Greetings and salutations, all. This is Star Trek Reliant, a Star Trek Adventures TTRPG podcast. I'm Duncan Idaho, your DM, and various other characters for tonight. And we've got a full house with our security officer, Chorog.
Chorog here. Looking for the rum.
We've got our man out of time and science officer, DB Wells.
I swear the power surge was not my fault. It was just next to my room. Guys, get off of my back!
We've got our other science officer and xenobiologist, Grawl.
Power surge? Power surge!
We've got our various characters portrayer and normally con officer, Carl Gianni.
I have a headache, and since I'm playing NPCs, there's nothing to stop me from punching people. You've been warned.
Yay. You've got our XO and CMO, and acting captain, Eli O'Connor. And our chief engineer, Rick Deere.
Alright, who put this bard next to this power conduit? Because you just started a fire. Thank you very much.
So tonight we are going to be starting off immediately where we left off last week, where our holodeck training simulation for how to retake DS9 is in full swing. The crew has completed the trials of the simulated spacewalk across DS9's surface, their infiltration run, and are entering the station through a airlock hatch, or maintenance airlock hatch, on the upper surface of the promenade. So the crew begins to make their way through the twisting little catacombs of this little section. So going through maintenance Jeffries tubes and eventually emerging into the lower deck of the promenade. There's, well, quite a bit of a mess around the station where the Jem'Hadar simulation has placed them in basically a role of not really knowing what to do with the various shops and stalls. There's been signs of looting and rummaging as things have been tossed about, broken in. Potentially shot up a bit in their initial occupation. But the crew is able to, at least for right now, infiltrate without being detected. So folks are stepping out to the station deck. Which includes Chorog, DB, the trio, Barry, and Rick.
Daniel was not in that group when we left off.
Daniel isn't in that group yet. So
Rick wasn't in that group either, actually.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't recall that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just double checking for my own memory. So, and then we also have Ryujin.
He was, yeah.
So folks are, getting onto the station, and at this point you can make a variety of different checks. Security, you can take a look to see if there's any signs of booby traps or enemy patrols ahead. You can do engineering to take a look to see if there's any station systems you can access, or science to get a general layout of the station to help with figuring out where to go next.
What about psionics to spot all the Jem'Hadar who might be cloaked?
Would that work on holograms?
No.
I was about to say, technically no, but we have to find some way to make it work, otherwise this isn't a very good simulation.
Yeah. I'll say that there's a holographic interface that allows the trio basically do a simulated, like a simulation of a telepathic check, where they basically, enter a little holographic UI, and it'll give them locations if they're able to concentrate.
Okay, that'll work. My other thought was that you might have to get opposing forces to actually play the Jem'Hadar, otherwise, again, thered be no way this would work.
We could do red shirts. Oh, red shirts would be interesting. Let's go with the simulation for the time.
Well, that's interesting. One success and one complication.
Alright, and folks are able to make a roll to do the various checks. Chorogs, you're supervising this training exercise, but you can also take part.
I'm just going to have that role stand for the Riotheans in general, both the trio and the security officers.
So anyone as part of the group can make one of these roles: the tactical, the engineering, or the science. And this would be at your chosen profession, and then either let's see, insight or let's just make them insight.
I would assume Barry would be checking for traps, and she has focuses in partisan tactics and improvised explosive devices. Would any of those count?
Yes, they would.
So the check is
Insight engineering.
Insight engineering. Okay.
2 successes for Chorog.
Anyone else rolling?
I already did.
Give me a second.
And Ryujin, Ryuji would be able to make a roll as well.
Oh, good. I forgot that he was with me. Fuck.
Junie boy.
Give me just a moment.
You got 1 success for Barry.
What was the roll, good sir?
Insight plus
security.
Insight security.
Insight plus your chosen profession, but in the case of Ryuji, I don't see how that could be anything but security.
I mean, he could try engineering for the fun of it.
Or science.
He gets curious, like, what's with this technology? I think I can take a stab at it.
Literally.
Indeed.
So are we just adding up all the successes across all this, or are these going individually, or...
Quick
Individually.
question. What would count as a focus that would help with it?
So, you are looking for enemy patrols with this particular
I have strategy and tactics as a focus for Ryuji.
That would apply.
Double crit then.
Double crit. So you got 4 successes. Ryuji, you basically are able to hear, with lots of ears, not only are you able to basically spot some Jem'Hadar up the counterclockwise around the promenade, you're able to hear them, and hear them pretty effectively that you map out where all of the patrols on this initial level of the promenade are, so the lower level. So that gets you some pretty good intel. For Faberi, with engineering, you're able to work out, like, hey, we might be able to, spoof some of the security systems, and that might reveal some of the hidden traps as those scanners come up. So, you think you might be able to get this done, but you would need an additional roll to take care of that. Chirag, you're able to get intel on the enemy movement, but you're only able to spot the wanted visual. You don't get the sort of, the full auditory picture to map out the patrol routes and cover movements.
Well, I do have a focus. I have criminal enterprises. Wouldn't that mean sneaking around?
No, because you only got a 9 and a 10, so you would need a 4 or 5 for that crit, for the focus to merit. And then for the trio, you get a really good feel for where the Jem'Hadar are on the upper deck with the simulated telepathy. So you get basically you're concentrating, and the computer system reads the telepathic signal and is able to display, hey, there's a bunch of guys on the upper promenade.
I'm going to say that Barry is just going to go ahead and spoof the thing without asking permission.
Okay, go ahead and give a daring engineering roll. You're intentionally triggering the security system so they reveal what you think are probably going to be there, some cloaked mines. So it's a little bit of a work of daring do. To carefully trigger the system without triggering any other automated defensive measures.
Would any of the focuses count, such as IEDs? I guess not.
No, just because you're working with the security system and trying to trigger it a little bit. Just a little poke. Just a little poke.
Give me a second. Magel just said no.
Okay. We do have the reserve dice spot in case that's needed. And that
there we go.
Expression would be slack. Alright, 2 successes. You're able to spoof the security system, so you're able to trigger a automated sensor sweep without triggering your red alert. So a few of the mines along this level have been identified. So you're able to...
I've got some of the mine, sir.
And as far as the trio go, I mean, with the fact that you just went through the Jeffrey stoop to get to the lower level, you can probably get to the upper level through additional sets of Jeffries tubes, and you feel confident about navigating up that way.
Okay. That seems unrelated to them psionically trying to find Jem'Hadar.
The Jem'Hadar were up on the upper level.
I gotcha. So the trio just, and the, security teams relay that information that the Jem'Hadar are on the upper levels.
So, Chorog is effectively on point here as the senior tactical person, but he can delegate.
All right, we need to work our way towards ops. And trying to avoid as many Jem'Hadar patrols as possible.
So,
Trying to avoid them, Ryuji says.
What did Ryuji say?
We're trying to avoid them? He says, like, with a hand on a sword, ready to draw it.
I want to avoid a confrontation with the Jem'Hadar as much as possible.
Well, then we should probably stay along the lower levels until we can find an elevator to ops.
He scoffs. This is cowardice.
This is tactics.
We know where all the enemies are. Eliminating them would be far more efficient.
We can eliminate them without any issues once we reach ops. We can simply vent the atmosphere.
Jorog points to a Jeffries suit hat. There, we're going through that Jeffries suit hat. We're going up to ops.
Okay, that is where the Jem'Hadar are, but... And the security team moves to sneak up the Jeffries tube and find out what's up there.
Does the trio lead?
No, they're not really trained for this sort of thing, so they're bringing up the rear. It's the security team going first.
Gotcha. So with that, the team is able to navigate up to the first level without getting lost.
Okay, so we're on the first level now. The trio basically the trio and the security team fan out and take place behind boxes and things, holding on to their, phaser rifles.
We're on that level. Between everyone, you basically have mapped out where the guys are. This would take, to reach that point, you've got two obstacles. One is just sneaking over there. The second is avoiding a identified cloaked mine. So on the one hand, you're going to have to do a control security roll. This will go for everyone to sneak across. But someone's going to try to defuse that mine. And that would take a control engineering roll as well. From that person defusing the mine.
And the trio could probably defuse the mine.
Alright, yeah. Trio can then go for an engineering control roll, and everyone, including the trio, can also do the security control as well for sneaky.
Well, before I do that, is there anybody else who wants to take a crack at the mine? Apparently no. Alright, here come the disarm roll.
Ta-da! 2 successes. Mine deactivated. The trio have a mine.
They put it away.
You have a mine to play with. Chorog, 1 complication, no successes. Faberi, 1 success. And then for Ryuji.
You said this was control security?
Control security on a sneaky roll. And with your tactics and strategy, I would say focus applies.
I'm not going to use it, but could you give me complication?
Anyway.
I will spend 4 threat.
Just on me or for everyone? I don't want to.
Just on you. Just on you.
Okay, good.
Anyway, I got a success and a complication for the security team.
Yeah.
So 4 threat.
If
you consider that
complication of 16.
If you consider that they're good at sneaking, then it would actually be 2 successes and a complication. But either way,
no complication for Ryuji, although it matters little as the team proceeds over to the turbo lift over the ops. Chorog, you accidentally kick a box over the ledge. The trio try to stop it, but they only succeed in, as they lunge to try to open the box, or try to catch the box, they simply open it. The tools start scattering about on the lower level.
The trio, without missing a beat, simply activate the mine and drop that too. Look, if someone's going to come investigate all the noise, we might as well give them something to actually find.
So, there's a long moment. There's Jem'Hadar turning towards you across the upper level of the promenade, and you hear a little bit of a commotion, and then an explosion from the lower level. And then the red alerts pop off, and the Jem'Hadar start moving to defensive positions. The lower level Jem'Hadar have been somewhat neutralized.
This is what they get for investigating the funny noise.
So at this point, the Jem'Hadar are going to be busy taking up defensive positions, but you guys, in knowing they were there, I'll say have first go on attacks. So at this point, you can either try to just make a break for the turbo lift, or go provide cover, as in stabby or shooty.
The security team, what kind of cover and defensive positions are the Jem'Hadar getting into?
Behind railings and boxes. There isn't much on the upper level of the promenade.
Okay.
Maybe around the corner there's some nooks and doorways, but yeah, they're fairly exposed, but they're not super exposed.
Basically, the security team sets off into 3 pairs. The first of each pair overloads his phaser rifle all the way to the complete destruction phase, shoots the cover, and the second one immediately takes a shot at the Jem'Hadar after the cover is vaporized.
Go ahead and give me a couple control security rolls.
Well, I will if Magel will not be... yeah.
Magel, no! There we go. 2 successes on the shooty cover roll, and 2 successes on the blasting the Jem'Hadar behind it. So yeah, with the overloaded phaser rifles, you're able to take out the cover and then take out one of the Jem'Hadar very effectively.
All right. Trog's going to go hand to hand with the Jem'Hadar.
All right, go ahead and give me a fitness if you're just going to barrel through, just sort of body check them, or a daring security roll if you're going to go for more finesse and melee.
Trog has hand to hand combat for a focus, so he's definitely using that.
Yeah.
Well, daring security, because Trog's going to grab a Kartakin and go to work.
There you go.
Please be kind to me, Magel.
I mean, at this point, Magel being kind to us is just giving us the results.
And we got 2 successes there. So yeah, you're able to effectively surprise one of the Jem'Hadar that's just getting into position and just orienting to the situation with the explosions and the red alert. And you're able to use your Kotakin to effectively slice them up, and they fall dead. That leaves for Barry and Ryujin.
Faberry's gonna book ahead to and run to the turbo lift to try to get open and ready for the rest of the team.
Fitness security. Or if we want to, that's for the dash, but I'll say you can also do engineering fitness if we want to focus on getting the door open. Just brute force. Ugh.
I'm gonna do fitness security.
2 successes. You're able to book it over to the turbo lift, and you got it open in a jiffy. That leaves Ryuji.
He's going to charge with a sword. Sword charge. Lightning swordsman.
Yeah, so go ahead and give me a daring security roll.
Alright, good. That's much better. And please, Magel. Woo!
2 successes. You're able to charge one of the Jem'Hadar, and you can narrate his stabby stabs.
He just runs up and just one swift motion draws his sword and slashes into the Jem'Hadar and just bisects them.
You've got a bisected Jem'Hadar hologram that falls over. From the distance, one of the surviving Jem'Hadar far off across the promenade takes a shot at you guys. 13, 2 successes. They're able to level some suppressing fire, forcing with a blast of Polaron bolts. So I will say Ryuji and the trio, go ahead and give a fitness security roll for diving into cover without taking fire.
No, I want to I want to stay still. I don't believe he'll hit me.
Okay. Anyway, the trio surprisingly dodged very well.
2 successes. Ryuji, are you sure?
Yes, I want to just I will show that I will not be intimidated by suppressing fire.
So you're hit a couple of times by holographic Polaron bolts.
No, I want to roll for this.
Oh, okay. Roll for the dodge. Yeah. So
no, I'm not dodging. I want to roll for just to be.
Well, it's one of those things of if you don't roll to dodge, you are hit.
Well, let's go with this. Go ahead and give me a control security roll. I'm spending another 4 threat.
All right, and hold on a minute.
I've got 4 threat left. They're about. Actually, yeah, 4 threat.
How many did you say you were using for this?
4.
4. So you got a complication range of 16.
Oh, fair enough.
1 success, 1 complication. You are hit by one of the hologram bolts, and your left side feels a bit numb from the holographic stun effect. So you are hit, and as a result, a couple of tails and one of your ears goes droopy, and you're going to have a little bit of a harder time moving. So 1 extra comp for physical rolls for a little bit.
I feel like I wasn't explaining what I was trying to do good, but whatever.
Well, you're standing there to try to do the intimidation, but it's only partially successful because they had 2 successes.
Yeah, I was about to say, the thing is, they were going to hit you unless you dodged.
But that's not what suppressing fire is. Suppressing fire, whatever.
Suppressing fire can still hit you. Fire hits.
Okay, yeah. I'll say, okay, I see what you mean. So you're hit by a stray bolt for that complication.
Okay, see, there we go. That's fine.
Stray bolt hits. You still get the droopy ear, though. The stun effect, it's not enough to hobble you or like to take you out, but it's like, okay, you've been a little stunned. So with that, basically it's your turn again, because the 4 Jem'Hadar I had in mind have been mostly dead.
Wait, whose turn?
Our turn.
Your turn, because you killed all but one of the Jem'Hadar up here.
I was just wondering who specifically was going.
Let's go ahead. For Barry's already in the turbo lift. Chorog and Ryuji have done your stabbings. I would say let's have the trio try to take a range shot if they want.
Oh, this is going to go well.
Success?
Surprisingly, it did.
All right, Jem'Hadar is going to try to dodge. They do not dodge. They effectively try to dodge into the phaser blast and are just taken out.
Yeah, do keep in mind the trio and the security team are very different when it comes to stats. You'll notice the trio are rolling mostly 10.
Yeah. So, yeah, with that, the top of the promenade is clear. The lower promenade is in disarray. You guys have a clear shot for the turbo lift up to ops.
Let's screw the lower area then. We're going to the ops.
Make for ops. Go, go, go.
Go.
And with that, you guys go to ops, and let's cut back over to Starbase Magellen, where there's the diplomatic reception in progress for the delegates for the conference on the Alliance Exploration Initiative, and bringing in more people into the Alliance and codifying an event. So you've got some new friends coming along. They're saying, well, you're in the large one of the larger auditoriums. You have the dignitaries sitting down. You guys have guided last episode VIP dignitaries from IFAR, the IBI. You're sitting with them, or taking whatever seat you decided last episode, and there's a good amount of murmur, good amount of commotion up until there's a little bit of a chime, and someone starts starts walking up the stage. There's a light applause as Ambassador Sugihara takes up to the podium of the mic. It is a very thick sheet of notes.
Well, fortunately, Urton is well ahead of the game and leaning against the wall asleep.
That says, out of her habit of trying to look invisible and is simply sitting.
Eli has 1,000-yard stare. As he's staring up at the stage.
You see Sugihara. Time seems to stretch on and on. The room is getting larger and larger as he clears his throat and says, "Fellow sentients, I welcome you to this auspicious gathering. We are gathered here today, to discuss and organize a grand exploration effort, linking our respective peoples together. I'm reminded of the time back in the Academy when and at this point the room lights flicker. And Sugihara looks around. He's like, I'm reminded of the time, and I'll have the group who was there, doing the ambassador role, so everyone except DB, who wasn't part of the holodeck simulation. Go ahead and give me an insight security roll.
Despite being asleep, apparently has a success.
One of Burton's ears twitch.
Oh, that's only 1/4 of them.
Ooh, complication and a success for Rick.
Dang it, Rick. 2 successes for Garal and Eli.
Just a moment. My sheet decided to hide itself. You said insight.
Insight security.
All right.
Rick knows exactly what's going on, but chokes on some food they're eating, and as the realization hits them.
Oh shit.
2 successes. So Garal. Oh, let's see. Okay. Okay. So, Eli and Grawl, you notice a little bit of shimmering, just down the aisles in the back, and it's wait, that's not right. That's really not right. Something is up. Is something there? Rick, you feel something brush your leg, and it startles you. You at least fall out of your chair. If you scream too in a bit of a yelp, that's up to you. And then, Ayrton, there's something moving around here.
Goro is going to immediately pull out his handy-dandy tricorder and scan.
Go ahead and give me a insight science.
While he's scanning, Rick doesn't scream, but he does just sort of jump up and make a lot of noise, just the chair moving around. He sort of looks on the ground for some kind of, or maybe LJ's got loose.
This probably wouldn't apply, but one of Growl's focuses is 23rd century Federation technology. Would that in any way apply given the systems of Magellen?
It's been upgraded.
Yeah, it's been upgraded, and this is a direct scan to see if there's something in the room. You're not scanning the systems, you're just scanning, is something there? 2 successes. Eli, do you take any additional actions?
Are any of the shimmering things near me?
With one is within lunging distance.
I would like to kick it in the crotch.
Okay. Okay. Well, you don't know if it has a crotch.
Well, you get what I mean. Just that general height area.
Okay, you try going for a stout kick. So go ahead and give me a daring security
All right.
Okay, so with 1 success, you lunge over and kick it as Gural, with 2 successes, you're able to determine that there's a holographic distortion field that is emulating a cloaking field. And with that information, it's enough to break it. So as Eli's going for his kick, holographic Jem'Hadar, what just appeared to be Jem'Hadar to everyone but Grawl, you determine that they're holographic, shimmer into appearance. And with only 1 success, Eli, you have just kicked a Jem'Hadar in the gut.
I also want to say knife shoes.
Oh, do you deploy the knife shoes?
Yes. Anything that's hot, cloaked in the middle of a diplomatic situation is not going to be good.
All right. As you deploy the knife shoe, you're able to get a very solid stab in, and you'll just stab this Jem'Hadar in the gut. It starts bleeding out as it goes. You can do an insight science roll at this point.
What about medical?
Or medical.
Mr. Doctor Man. Insight, medical, so it's 14.
Yeah. Growl's gonna dive for cover and scream, "They're holograms."
2 successes. You see that you're able to notice that the blood as it's falling is disappearing into holographic nothingness. So you also realize at the moment they're holographic. But Grawl has also just left it. And at this point, there's quite a bit of a commotion, and there are 3 more Jem'Hadar that have been revealed. One in the so you've got 4 in total. Eli has incapacitated the first one in the back. There is 1 more, basically halfway to the stage, down the aisle, and there's 2 flanking on the left and right of the auditorium. And I will give priority to Rick. All of this has just gone down.
Okay, I want to do a roll for myself first. For reasons. Okay, he is going to try and see if he can disrupt the holographic emitters in this area.
All right. Go ahead and give me a control engineering, and I'm going to spend 2 of my remaining 4.
So need to double check control. That is, I don't have a focus on this. No, not experimental. What's our momentum like?
Let's see. I would say that you're up to. You've got 2 momentum from Ryuji's super duper
Okay, well, I will use one of those for an extra dice.
All right, and Grawl, you are assisting the technical side, correct?
Yes.
So go ahead and roll 1 dice for a control engineering.
So Rick T does shout out, I'm trying to disrupt the holographic fields.
There is screaming about you, and even more commotion as people realize what's going on. Security teams are starting to move in, but they are very confused. Okie dokes.
Okay, so I get a reroll because I've got cautious engineering, and that is a I get to reroll that 20.
Yes, go ahead and please do that.
Did you not have a crit here?
No focus applies.
Okay.
Rick said.
Oh, shit.
But we have a total of 4 successes. So with that, you guys earn back a couple of momentum. That's positive, so you've got up to 3 now. And you're able to disable the holographic emitters in this area, and the holographic emitters fade. At this point, Captain Mercer hits his comm badge and asks engineering for a status update and reports what's going on. The station goes to red alert at this time, and everyone is kind of freaking. All the diplomats are more or less freaking.
Burton is still asleep.
Sugihara is still speaking at the front of the stage. On the stage.
Wait, did he not stop?
No.
Eli stabs Jem'Hadar with his fucking shoe knife and it's just like, yes! Speaking.
They disabled the holographic emitters.
Yeah, but that was, after.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, you have stabbed Jem'Hadar and it has dematerialized. Eli's shoe can earn another kill mark.
Another notch on the soul.
Another notch on the soul, yes. So, you've got your VIPs, and Lord Garana, the stern one, is not moving and is still staring straight ahead. And he might just be listening to Sugihara. Lady Taimon is looking around somewhat concerned, where the young Vinaruga, he is looking considerably more nervous. He has been this casual kid, kind of like too cool for school. But that mask is starting to break a little bit. Baraki and Otara, I will leave his reaction up to Kara.
Looks slightly amused, actually.
Eli gives a thumbs up and sits back down for a second.
So you sit down. Do you try calming the diplomats?
He's going to, take his drink, and yes, he's going to try to calm the diplomats.
So to Taimon and Vinaruga, you're going to be addressing yourself. Garana, he seems pretty chill, and so does Otara.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give me a presence command roll, and then say how you're going to calm them.
Can Rick assist with engineering details to that?
Yes. So engineering presence from you.
Alright, let's see. Come on. Okay, Magelle, please. Please, Magelle! Okay, thank you, Magelle.
Ooh. Four successes overall, with a crit from Rick and more good rolls from Eli. And I'll say that you've earned another couple of a couple of momentum, so you're up to 5. And
Eli. Sorry.
I was going to ask what Eli says.
Yeah, Eli's just gonna say, don't worry about this. We're gonna go find the root cause, but this room should be secure now. Just, enjoy the speech. It'll go on for a bit. Setsa here will take care of you in the meantime. We go troubleshoot this.
Goro adds, it's just a minor technical issue. Happens all the time on these old stations.
While that's going on, Otara just takes a finger and runs it around the rim of his wine glass, and he's busy looking at Captain Mercer saying, "Could I interest you in a contract for technical support, Captain Mercer? I have many engineers at my disposal."
Captain Mercer, he's busy, he's making a furious series of our comm channel calls, just making sure that there's no Jem'Hadar ships in orbit.
Despite having obviously seen that they were holograms?
Well, they could have been part of an infiltration ploy, so he's just being extra careful that they're not under a wider attack. Although they're getting some reports of system abnormalities from across the station, and the group hears this. He looks back to Otara and says, yes, we can just add that to the agenda. Would 3 p.m. today work? Well, and he's just sort of like giving Otara a forced smile.
Captain Mercer, I don't think Ambassador Sugihara is going to be finished by 3 p.m.
Otara just smiles and just looks to Setsa and simply says, "Would it be helpful if I called my engineers from the ship?"
I think that would be fine.
Atara pulls out a civilian communicator and begins calling the engineers that he brought with him aboard, the diplomatic ship, and ordering them to report in to, first off, the diplomatic council chamber to disable the emitters manually so that they cannot come back online, and then to go to ops and do the same thing.
Yes. So they're transporting in?
No, they'll be running in.
Okay, as they run in, there's the sound of a firefight going on just outside one of the docking or the docking docking concourses for civilian docking area. So security is engaging the holographic Jem'Hadar.
Okay, in that case, they're just going to take cover and report that they cannot enter at this time because they're civilians, they're not soldiers.
So, yeah, that's a bit of a problem. The group then, on this information, does Otara relay it to the others?
Yes, and he just kind of has this sigh of, if you want something done right, and he stands up.
So, at this point, you've got a few options. One, you can go try to assist Otara's engineers to get additional technical support. You can try to just go directly with ops with Otara and hope you guys can figure something out there. Or you can try going to some other part of the station. That might also be involved.
So the computer core.
Or you could sit and listen to Jiro.
That is also an option.
Nope. Sorry, Setsa, you have to make the sacrifice of sitting here, but...
No. And she looks at you and just goes, no.
Oh. Eli gets up. Let's go make our way.
Where's the nearest Jeffrey's tube? It's unlikely that those will have a great deal of hollow emitters installed.
You'd be surprised.
Probably.
They have to keep the bees out.
Just find us a way.
There's a pop. There's the sound of a pop and a hatch clattering behind him.
Atara looks over his shoulder.
John is poking out of an open Jeffrey's tube hatch.
Oh, this could be quite helpful. You can spore jump, yes?
John looks around and says, Edie, it worked good last time.
Have you eaten today, bud? Have you had any, mushrooms?
I have a little bit of mushrooms, but I don't know, I'm scared. What if I
buddy. Come here. He goes over and hugs John. Picks up John.
Go ahead and give me a presence command roll.
Presence. Okay. Oh.
We have 5 momentum.
Yeah, can I just re-roll that?
Yeah, you can re-roll it for a couple momentum. We're down to
Alright, yeah. I'll do that. There we go.
So you've got 2 successes. You're able to give John a really good, big, encouraging hug. So he thinks with that hug that he can spore jump the top.
Oh, Atara wasn't meaning himself, although he does go over and give John a pat on the head.
Okay.
Atara goes over to the Jeffries tube and gets ready to climb it and says, I believe that your engineering commander over there would be the best choice to go directly to ops or engineering.
John salutes. John looks over and says, okay, where do I take Rick?
Yeah, take him wherever he wants to go. I guess I'll go out into the halls and try to clear a way for the other engineers to help.
John, let's start with ops, and then we'll, if we need to go, we'll go to engineering after that.
And Tara starts climbing the ladder in the Jeffries tube going to ops, and he's unarmed, so hopefully there's not going to be anything in his way.
Okay. So, Rick, you are spore jumped by John. Eli, you go out into the hall to provide assistance to the security teams. Satsa is staying behind, staying put. Rawl, where you go?
Goro is going to I guess stand by the door and try to guard the room with all the diplomats and VIPs.
Okay, you are helping to guard. Ayrton, you are still asleep. It is a good nap.
Yep.
The sound of Sugihara drifts over and ensures that Ayrton is well asleep.
Apparently, while climbing through the tubes, Tara is going to run into one of the checkers.
When you're ready for that, yes.
Do we want to take a quick break first?
I could stand to fill up my water, so yeah.
All right,
I can stand for a drink.
Yeah, 5-minute break, and we'll be right back.
Alright, be right back.
So, as we return to Reliant, the Holodeck, you guys are none the wiser to the commotion going on outside as you're approaching ops. So, you've got the turbolift ride to prepare. So, how are you going to assault ops?
I have an idea, but I'm not sure if it's going to work. What we can do is we can arm some explosives, leave them in the turbo lift, jump out that, climb up through the access hatch. That way, when the car arrives at ops, the explosives go off and stun the hell out of whoever's in there. Gives us time to get out and secure the room.
Yeah, the trio just kind of look over and say, "Okay, we can do that." And they basically start checking around with the various teams and collecting, explosives, grenades, whatever you got.
Yeah, Barry's going to help us that since she does have the focus and provides explosive devices.
Okie dokes. So you're setting up the explosives while riding up the turbo lift into ops. You're, of course, going to stop the turbo lift, get out on a different floor, and then send the turbo lift, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to get off at the floor just below ops. Pop up to the Jeffries tubes. Wait for the big bang, then pop out.
The trio suggest popping off on the floor 2 floors below ops just to make sure that there's nobody around.
So with that, let's go ahead and for setting everything up correctly, go ahead and, depending on your profession, give me a security control or an engineering control role for appropriately setting up the IED.
2 successes from the trio.
Very, a focus definitely applies.
Can I use pyrotechnics, my pyrotechnics focus for this?
Yes. So you've got 2 successes. And 3 successes for Barry. So you guys are able to set up a wonderful improvised explosive device that will either take out anyone looking at the turbo lift, anyone with their heads up in ops, and just in general cause a lot of chaos.
just kind of squeaks and says, "And this will be the second time we'll blown up some Jem'Hadar.
The bigger the bang, the bigger the chaos.
Shame we don't still have that mine."
It's not to do enough power close to the mine with how much I packed into it.
The security team, in unison, repeating a lesson learned from Chirag, simply say, "There's no kill like overkill."
I trained you guys too well.
Do you do anything, leave any special touches with the explosive device?
Well, it's entirely a very utilitarian measure.
Yeah, so no, like, notes to the Jem'Hadar, some things left for the explosive pile.
Oh, Faveri puts a little smiley face on it.
Okie dokes.
Someone might have a chance to glimpse that right before it explodes.
You guys will know. So the turbo lift goes on its merry way into that many successes, and I will say you're back up to 5 momentum. You hear the explosion of the turbo lift and the screaming of some Jem'Hadar from a level or 2 down. So you're able to proceed up Jeffrey Stoops from that point, the maintenance hatch, and...
Actually, I would like to do a quick narrative declaration. Given how well the explosion worked, the wreckage of the turbo lift comes clattering back down the thing, and the trio just look up and say, "Well, we could just climb up that way now."
And you can just climb up that way.
We could just take another turbo lift. There are 2 down there.
Well, they're about to say there's one destroyed one that just fell on another one if they're in the same one, but...
Well, the turbo lifts can move laterally, so you might be able to call one from another shaft.
It's not that big of a climb. Chorog leads the group up, pokes his head through the extremely charred opening, and there is just chaos parts and screaming Jem'Hadar everywhere.
There are people on fire. As Strawberry would say, no 2 people are not on fire.
And the computer system is just saying, "Maintenance need detected. Please service turbo lift."
Chorog looks down there and says, "Oh, we made a mess. I love it."
So do you try to finish off the remaining Jem'Hadar?
Ryuji does. He just draws a sword and brings it down into a couple Jem'Hadar.
Well, we'll let Foxboy go first.
Yeah, so Foxboy, you're able to take out a couple of Jem'Hadar. There's a few more screaming Jem'Hadar around.
The security team is also going to fan out and immediately shoot any Jem'Hadar who are still moving, and maybe a few who aren't moving, just to make sure.
And
Chorog sees one. He's just kind of twitching and just bears the entire force of his boot down on the poor bastard's neck.
And the Jem'Hadar disappears in a holographic view.
And with that out of the way, the engineers, which is the trio, are going to get a start on getting some of the consoles operational again.
So, go ahead and give me a control or insight engineering. 4 successes.
Yeah. Damage
Excellent.
control is a specialty of theirs.
Well, you've got the attempt to do damage control, but there's a little bit of a problem, you guys notice. A big problem. Where you were expecting this simulated station routine, you identify that someone is pulling a lot of data from the holodeck, and that this is causing a feedback reaction through the Reliance EPS systems.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean, uh-oh?
We're kind of broadcasting stuff, and we shouldn't be.
Not good. Let me take a look.
Faveri also takes a look, considering like one of her focuses is holo technology, and she has done some holo programming.
So go ahead and
the trio are just screaming, "Computer, arch! Computer, arch!"
insight. Go ahead and give me insight engineering.
All right, I'm going to use my focus of information hacking.
All right, you guys got focuses applying. Insight engineering or science. 3 successes from Chorog. Oh god, 4 successes from Jerry. I'm just going to say you guys have max momentum now. You're up to, what's it, 8?
Something. Yeah, insane number.
It's a Unix system. I know this.
You've got all the momentum. So, there's one problem. A data tap has been established that goes from Reliant to Service Magellen. And data is flowing back and forth through that data tap. That is weird in and of itself. But you immediately recognize, oh crap, this thing's interfaced with the station's holographic emitters. You might have broadcast the simulation to the station. Problem 2 is that this data tap is still going somewhere else.
We seem to be projecting onto the station and someplace else, sir.
Did we ever get the arch from the computer? Because at this point, the trio would like an actual console.
Yeah, let's go ahead. I'm going to say you get the holographic arch. With that many successes, if the holodeck is malfunctioning, you just plow through it, you get that arch.
Okay, that means that we could actually try to do something about this problem.
And as this is happening, the team going to the computer core on Magellen. You get to the computer core.
What team was that?
I'm not sure.
I don't think there was one.
Okay,
That's
who's
why
going
I
to
asked.
ops? Okay.
Atara was going to ops through the Jeffries tubes, and Rick was just being spore jumped there with John.
Okay, so the group arrives at ops. It's a bit of chaos. So the operations team, so Lieutenant Commander Dagon, the Cindy humanoid chief of ops, he is scrambling to get the station back under control. The holographic emitters are just malfunctioning. At this point, Security Officer Kathat, or Security Chief Kathat, the Pharaoh's Security Chief of Starbase Magellen, she is screaming orders and trying to coordinate the tactical response to Jem'Hadar attackers and protecting civilians and non-station personnel.
Alright, so Rick wants to know where these Jem'Hadar are coming from and is going to try to access the holodeck systems to figure out what's getting them all so hot and bothered.
Alright, go ahead and give me an insight engineering roll.
I guess I'll grab another dice as well.
You have all the momentum still. Power up unlocked. Infinite momentum.
Oof. Only one success on 3 dice.
So you're able to see that, well, something be story with the holodeck system, or the holodeck systems. It's not coming from Magellan's holodeck.
Somewhere external. Where's the communication systems? Are we getting any signals from elsewhere?
Otara, you might be able to help with this.
Atara's in the Jeffries tube, or did I just get up there with nothing in the way?
Yeah, wait. No, first. Okay, so Dagon is going to go try to help Rick. So, Otara, you're crawling through the Jeffries tubes, and you hear something ahead of you.
Tara carefully creeps up and just kind of tries to just bring his eyes over the thing to look and see if it's a Jem'Hadar.
It is not a Jem'Hadar.
Randolph P. Checkers is laying there prone, loading his Mosin Nagant bayonet attached. He's muttering, I don't know how they came back, but they're back. They're back. Thought they were driven off the first time.
Are you pointing at Otara?
No, he's loading his rifle. He's looking out of a vent that leads into the hallway where the sounds of fighting are going on. He's got war paint smattered on his face under the aviators.
Otara climbs up just a little bit more so that his head is above the ladder, and he just kind of raises his hand and says, "Excuse me, are you Starfleet?"
Yes. Sometimes, most of the time.
Could you help me get to ops, please?
Ops. Yeah, but we'll have to go and stop and see the bees. They're on the way.
Okay.
Not letting the Jem'Hadar steal the honey.
Atara is not sure about this, but he figures that it's better to follow the guy who's armed and theoretically combat trained.
All right, you guys proceed on. Eli, you are dashing through the halls, and you see ahead of you a Jem'Hadar strike team pinning down a Starfleet security squad.
Yes, alright, well, time to go fight, yeah?
So what are you fighting with?
Knife shoes.
More knife shoes. Okay.
I didn't have time to go get my guns. They're still on Reliant.
Okay, so you got your knife shoes. You've got some Jem'Hadar who don't see you yet, and you are going to go for the kick. So
I'm going to go for the spinny breakdance kick.
Go ahead and give me a daring security roll.
All right. God damn it, my sheet likes to play hide and goddamn seek with me. I'm going to re-roll that 12.
Go for it. You have infinite momentum.
Infinite momentum, oh boy.
Power mode activated. 2 successes. With the spinning kick, you're able to basically slice through the lower back. Okay.
Okay, yeah, it's good. Sorry.
You want to take the spinny kicky?
I was going to show you a GIF, and I'm going to try to have you narrate that.
Okay, go for it.
That wasn't his gift.
That was not my GIF.
No, it is cool though. It is a band breakdancing in style.
It's capoeira.
Okay, that is a very interesting gift to try to narrate. It's from Yakuza.
You can do it. I believe in you. I want to see your narrative prowess at work.
Okay, so Eli at this point jumps around, goes for basically a kick towards the Jem'Hadar's head, but rather than landing a strike, you perform basically a scissor hold on the mat or on the Jem'Hadar with your thighs and spin around him, around and around. And your shoes are held out. Held out point first as you spin or use your momentum to rotate around the Jem'Hadar as you're disoriented. With this, you're able to stab one of the other Jem'Hadar with your shoes before you complete the twirling hold, bring the Jem'Hadar down, and then stab him with your shoes. So you take down 2 Jem'Hadar with a spinning head scissor kick.
Very good, very good.
The security team is left dumbfounded while the remaining Jem'Hadar turns at you. At this point, there is a phaser shot from across the hallway that takes out the remaining Jem'Hadar. Graves walks across the promenade and says, "Holy crap! Great! Did you train to use those shoes?"
I know how to fight like this. I've known, since before the shoes. Out of character. It's literally one of my focuses.
I know.
One of my non-medical focuses. I only have 2 non-medical focuses.
I know, but Graves is still impressed that you took down 2 Jem'Hadar with knife shoes.
Technically, that GIF is 3, but hey.
Yeah. So Graves says, all right. So we've got holographic Jem'Hadar. Where are you headed?
There's some engineers that need some help. They are diplomatic engineers, so...
All right, let's go take care of it. And you two proceed to go waste some more holographic Jem'Hadar, while Otara arrives at Ops.
Otara is got a bee sting on his forehead and just kind of grumbling as he gets into Ops.
Checkers is accompanying.
Who's in the Dominion War,
Were the bees in the Dominion War?
Oh no, bees don't live that long.
Shame. They seem quite fighty.
They do. Back then is when I tried making wasp honey, but they did not cooperate.
I see. Otara dusts himself off and looks around and says, "Where can I find the EPS control center?"
Just this way. Right this way. He stops and takes a panel off the wall and just checks on some bees.
Dagon looks over to what's happening with Checkers, and it's just he's not going to ask any questions, but he's surprised that this person has stumbled onto Ops and is accessing ship systems, but it's hey, he's accompanied by Nibby, this looks legit, I'm just going to let him work. Rick, you can go ahead. You recognize that, hey, Checkers is up to something. You assist.
As it's dealing with the APS, yes, he will.
All right, you guys, go ahead and give me some control or reason engineering rolls.
Okay, so who's leading this? Because everybody else is just assisting.
Checkers is leading. He is the one that is taking off the conduit, so he's got first priority on the system.
He was checking on the bees.
Oh, he's just checking on the bees.
So
Okay.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah,
He said he's...
That's what I
I
thought.
thought there was more to that. I thought there
No,
was
he's
like,
taking
okay,
off the panel.
Yeah, I think he just gestured to which way the EPS conduit was, and in that case,
Okay.
Otara's.
okay.
He checks
Atara's
on the
taking
bees,
lead.
and then he goes back to leading the way. But no, he'll let Otaru take the actual engineering lead.
Okay, so
Okay,
Otara takes the engineering lead, while the bees, they are happy to have the giver's presence calm.
Otara basically just starts shutting down systems with power, basically doing everything but life support in order.
All right, go ahead and give me the engineering roll, and then Rick, you can assist with 1 dice.
One
Checkers
success.
is also assisting. So,
Yay!
what is this? He said.
Engineering, control or reason.
Could I? Fuck. Both
What
of
do
those
you
are the
have in
same.
mind? What might checkers do that isn't reason or control based?
Daring, just start pushing buttons randomly.
Go for it.
All right. And I have engineering.
Do you want to spend any momentum for extra dice?
No, I think I'm. No.
Rick gives 1 success.
Yeah, 1 success for Otara. So,
Would games of chance help us to focus?
I mean, because you're doing this randomly, I will say yes.
All right, very good.
You're playing a risky game here, so games of chance certainly would apply. 2 successes. So, Otara and Rick, you guys are able to start bringing the systems down, and it's slow going. There's basically a lot of regulations to go through, and a lot of secondary control systems that O'Brien established. So, basically, DS9 would stop almost self-destructing on a regular basis. I mean, the man was dealing with a lot. But checkers, you're able to kind of recognize one duct tape and baling wires approach to engineering from another, and you're able to very quickly, press a few shortcut commands that you recognize that, hey, this makes sense for, an engineer like, you don't know it's Brian, but Brian. Actually, you serve for the Dominion War, so you would know Brian. But anyway, you're able to, just power everything down. So you're the Magellen. Actually, I got completely confused there. So anyway, you're able to work out the duct tape and baling wires approach to keeping Magellen together, and you're able to shut things down.
And then
Scotty
Ops
was
is,
here at some point.
Scotty was here at some point, yes.
Ops is now simply bathed in the red light of the emergency lights. And Otara looks around and says, well, that should deal with the holo emitters. I apologize to any holographic crew.
Some might have mobile.
We need to find out where this signal's coming from, because it was coming from outside of the holographic system. There's something interfacing with it.
I'll bring...
DM Marcus something, fuck.
Okay. While you're doing that, unless it's going to stop what Otara does, Otara simply says, I'll bring communications back online, and you can try to figure out where it's going from there. And true to his word, Otara will look to bring power back to the communications and, interface systems.
Go ahead and give me a very simple engineering roll. Engineering, and then control, reason, insight, kind of whatever besides presence. Or fitness.
Okay, there we go. 2 successes.
2 successes. The steamroll continues. And with that, you're able to bring the communication systems back online and basically track the data, or basically the flow of data from the station, and definitely the garbled signal that was interfacing with the holodeck systems here while I checked the Oh no. We might do a post-credit scene with that, Nick, but...
I was still typing, but...
Okay, you can narrate that really quick.
Alright, I'm gonna narrate that really quick.
Yeah, narrate something really quick as the holographic systems are shutting down.
As Eli and Graves are fighting the Jem'Hadar, a door opens off the side into just pure darkness, and from it, Wendy starts to emerge.
For those who
right.
weren't there for the original, this is Wendy the Wendigo that they encountered on the last time the holographic systems totally didn't malfunction.
And just as she's about to fully emerge, the holograms, the holographic matrices and stuff shut down and stave them.
So yes, that happens. At any rate, though, Otara, you're able to recognize that the holodeck, the data signal is coming from Reliant, but not necessarily any it's not the end of the signal. So you're able to trace the pack back to outside the ship. It seems to be coming from a node on the hull.
Atara is completely and utterly confused and just gestures to Rick and points at the data.
That external node's certainly not meant to be there.
So why is it?
Who knows? We've had all sorts of upgrades and people going in and out. Have been trying to keep an head on it, but there's a lot of people and a lot of stuff going on, so things can easily slip by.
Perhaps you should check the security credentials of those who've been working on the ship.
So with this information, though, you're able to determine that, hey, there's this really weird thing on the hull. You might be able to solve the problem just by dismantling or destroying that thing. If someone could go outside the ship and say, just phaser whatever's out there.
I wonder who has a EV suit on them at this moment in time.
Who might be on the Reliant.
That's probably a better idea than what I had, though what I had would have been quicker.
So Rick just sort of realizes that there's an EVA. He just sort of does a quick check. He taps his comm badge. Rick here to DB Wells.
What?
Are you on the Reliant right now?
Yeah, do you know what's going on over here?
Yes. Well, do you know what's going on down here?
Is it the same thing that's going on up here?
Well, if you're talking about holographic Jem'Hadar, then yes.
Why is that going on down there and up here?
Rick, well, apparently there is some kind of external node on Reliant that is interfacing with the Reliance holographic systems and linking that with Magellan's holographic systems and deploying the Jem'Hadar from the practice simulation to the entire station and Reliant itself.
Well, how did that happen?
I can give you the details of the node. We don't know how it got there. We're going to have to go and check a lot of security data. Going to have to go through engineering logs. We're going to have to do security sweeps. But fortunately, that's not my job. Right now, my job is getting you to get in your EV suit and either dismantle or destroy this thing. Preferably dismantle so we can examine this thing later.
There's no one else. It's got it. Fine.
I mean,
give me a minute.
You're right there on the Reliant with an EV suit probably close right by you.
Daniel looks over to the corner of his room where it's propped up on a stand.
Time to go out and do the EV suit thing.
Meanwhile, Daniel, you should remember the last time you went out to do an EV, it didn't do well. Didn't go well, rather.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it has been a while since I've actually... I know I've been walking outside the space station, but...
Alright, time to go outside. You're able to get your spacesuit on in jiffy, and you know your way to the airlock, and you're going out into space, so you start walking across the surface of the line. The Starbase Magellan is moving high above you.
But surprisingly dark.
Surprisingly dark. It's a little bit creepy because it's just you out in space with, the dusty planet of Archer beyond you, just over the horizon of Lion's Home. You're able to navigate to the coordinates that Rick sends you. At those coordinates, though, you notice a little bit of kind of a little something doesn't look. It's got like a little bit of almost a heat phase, but it's concentrated in a particular location. So there doesn't look to be anything on the hull, but it's wait, I think there's something there. So what do you do?
I guess I go over and look at it. I guess.
Do you look at it close? Do you look at it far away?
I'll walk up to it. I have no reason to believe that this specific thing is dangerous to me in real life.
All right. As you walk up to it, something about it shifts, and it seems to move backwards.
I squint my eyes and try to really look at this and figure out if it's alive or not.
I mean, this is a little bit of an invisible haze that is messing around with ship systems. So it's there's something there. You think it might be invisible, and it just moves.
Okay, wait. So it's less something moving away from me and more just
something. Basically, you move towards it, but it seems like it moved a step back.
Okay.
So it did move, basically.
It did move.
Okay. Seeing as we're in space, I can't exactly shout out to anyone.
I mean, you can, but no one will hear you.
True.
We're alone on the hull of the USS Reliant.
Daniel just kind of waves his hand, just a bit of just an exaggerated hello type of wave, then points at them, mouthing, "I know you're there. I see you. Hello."
It doesn't do anything as you're doing these gestures, but if you're standing in place of this,
I try taking another step towards it.
it moves back.
I guess at this point I'll take out a scanner, because obviously it's either this or put on the Benny Hill music.
What about the gravity glove?
Go ahead. Yeah, you can also have taken the gravity glove with you, and I'll also say you've got your face with you.
Alright.
Go ahead and give me an insight security roll, and I'll spend my last 2 credits.
Alright. Wait, you said insight what?
Security.
Alright. Robotics or robotics or integrating technology wouldn't happen to apply, would it?
They would.
Alright, I'll keep that in mind if I actually roll low enough for it.
Alright, let's go ahead and get the roll. We reach the climax. 4 successes!
I only have 2 security, so...
Oh, so 2 successes. So you're able to determine that something is there. Something is definitely there emitting a power signal. So it's you're not able to get a whole lot of more information back, but it looks like it's a mechanical.
Okay. Never mind.
So there's a cloaked mechanical thing sitting on the hull of Reliant that is threatening both the Reliant and the station.
Alright. I'm gonna crouch down, preparing to leap. Not move, but I crouch down, preparing to leap. I point the glove on my suit that has the gravity stuff built into it, and at the same time as I do try to essentially force pull whatever it is towards me, I leap towards it with the intent to intercept it with a tackle.
Alright, you have chosen poorly. As when you do this, there is this seeming this shape. It seems to expand out, and it's wait, is this thing growing? But it's not growing. And you feel a piercing pain through your suit as you're stabbed in several locations by this thing. And as you're being stabbed, its holographic cloak emerges, and you are face to face with a robotic, squid-looking thing that has injured you, and you're tumbling across the hull with this thing latched in you. You've got your phaser.
I do, in fact, have a phaser. Man, this would have been so much simpler if I wanted to do something before I left, but it just kind of got yada-yada'd to the whole of the ship, and I kind of went with it. But
yeah, I mean, you are in this situation now. It is a dangerous situation. You are being attacked by a dangerous-looking robot thing.
Well, having been stabbed through my suit in space, not reacting very well. I guess I fumble for my phaser and set it to something. I don't know. I crank the dial up pretty high.
All right. Go ahead and give me a daring security roll. Remember, we have infinite momentum. You can go ahead and spend one of those momentum to get an extra dice. As we wait, you just hear the sound of a hiss.
I still don't remember. How do I add an extra dice?
Oh, okay. So when you're doing the roll, let's see.
I believe it's tab.
Target, and then your second number is your dice. So instead of say 14, 2, you're just doing 14 or 14 then 3.
Use the /d20 instead of R if we want to do that, because that's more.
Yeah. Or yeah, /d20 and then 3d20.
Okay. Try that again.
Da-da-da-da. I can just do a 3d20 roll for you, as we are reaching our time limit and we want to.
All right, I'm just gonna do /R twice and ignore the fourth result.
All right, you got 3 successes here. So with that, you're able to blast this thing, and it starts disintegrating as you're doing it. So you feel the burn as this thing is like the tentacles disintegrating. And at the one hand, hey, but at the other hand, this might have helped seal the suit. But you are left drifting and tumbling in space as you have just destroyed your assailant. You have comms though, and Star Trek has transporters.
Yeah, Daniel just taps the comm badge on his suit and is just, Daniel to someone, I've been stabbed in space, help me.
And at this point, you are beamed aboard Starbase Magellen, and a medical team is quickly summoned to come get you. At this point, the holodeck, on the holodeck, the systems begin to fade, but there's a weird pulse of something, like on the screens. It's like a little black and red, something or other. So someone can quickly try to pull whatever data is coming through there on the holodeck on Reliant. That is on Barry or the trio.
I was about to say, that sounds like the engineers, the trio, so.
Well, Barry also has the holographic systems focus, so.
Well, what's your combined inside engineering here?
One moment. Let me pull up her sheet again. That would be 12.
Okay, for the trio it's 14, but they wouldn't have a bonus to, crit.
So you guys can go ahead and I would say this isn't a holographic roll. You're pulling data that's just piling through. So this is definitely.
Well,
but you got
2 successes from them then, and if Barry wants to assist.
Very good. So that'd be 1 dice with a target of 12.
Okay, give me one moment.
3 successes overall. So you're able to pull a good amount of this data that's being piled through. It's like, just something is feedback into the system. It's not like logic anywhere. It's just like this miscellaneous data pulse. Like something's been injected improperly. And with that, the holodeck systems turn off. You were left with, the looks of a standard holodeck. A little bit worse for wear because, let's just say the explosions were a bit explosive, and this holographic safeties may not have been on. So, there's a little bit of damage to work through here. But at any rate, though, the holodeck seems perfectly normal. The holographic Jem'Hadar could be the station. And, the immediate crisis has been averted.
As soon as everything has gone offline, the trio just pull open the, cover at the console below it, and just pull out one of the isolinear chips and hold it up.
You'll have an isolinear chip.
Yes, it's got the data on it.
Yeah.
Because you
And
wouldn't
with that-
want that just floating around in the system. Who knows what it does?
Indeed. So with that, that's the end of the main episode. So if anyone has any last scenes to finish things up with, we'll cover that off. Otherwise, we are good to go.
I gotta go stitch up DB.
All right. You're going to go stitch up DB. Medical teams have been called to the transporter on Magellen.
At some point, Jiro stops talking and Burton snorts awake and starts applauding.
Yeah, that was only the brief intermission pause.
Even
Then
funnier.
keeps going.
He took a sip from his glass of water.
I mean, it was the first time he'd shut up in hours.
two diplomats have flanked the other side of the stage. We're getting ready to escort him off, but then when it keeps going, they just kind of awkwardly shuffle aside and sit back down. And as far as DB sitting up goes, go ahead and give me one final roll for the night. Or medical.
You got it, boss. God damn it. Why is ever there it is. Control, medical, so.
DB, you've been stabbed.
Yeah.
I'm going to use the infant momentum to redo that 17.
Go for it.
Because, we're here at the end anyway. Why waste infinity?
All right, we got more successes. 2 successes, you're able to stitch up DB pretty effectively, and you're able to recognize that, well, these were pretty mechanical stab wounds. Some weird robot probably did this. And fortunately, though, it didn't leave any residual shenanigans behind. So DB is clean.
Are you going to want scars or no? Sometimes people ask for scars.
Why?
I don't know if they think it makes them look tougher.
I mean, all I'd get from this is people thinking I got my appendix taken out.
No, not necessarily. So yeah, I'll just... See, your appendix is here. This stab wound, they think you got your...
Just heal me up.
Yeah, I'm... Don't worry, Doc's gonna wave a light over it, I got you. He starts waving a light over it. No scar. You're fine.
Thank you. Was the robot thing completely destroyed or
Completely destroyed.
damn?
Does your
Does
camera
helmet-
have a... does your helmet have a camera? Does your camera have a helmet? Jesus.
I vaguely remember installing one of Chorog's drones on the top of my space helmet. So I don't
you
NASA
got
would
it.
need to see you back when NASA was a thing. See you on walks and stuff. So yeah, you probably have a helmet camera. We'll take a look at the footage at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want a lollipop?
Yeah.
All right. What flavor?
I don't know.
Your options are cherry, sour apple, or lemon.
Lemon?
Lemon it is. Oh, there's also root beer, but
Thanks.
You'll enjoy a lollipop. And with that, any other scenes for tonight? Going once, going twice. And thank you for joining us tonight on Star Trek Reliant. We will be back in a couple of weeks when we go to the Conclave homeworld to go fetch cards you're drawing and maybe do something about our captain here, who has the robot buddy. With that, let us say goodnight, and we've got an email at reliantstarbase.com if you want to send any fan mail, fan art, or miscellaneous ramblings. We will happily accept those as well.
Miscellaneous ramblings are my favorite.
Just don't send us any Jiro length ramblings.
Please do. That
I want a full 12-hour video essay on a subject of your choosing by tomorrow.
indeed. Good night, everyone.
Good
Go
night.
Captain Ahab on this squid thing when we find who created it.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.